Amanda was house hunting when she met real estate agent Algernon at an open house in her dream neighborhood. His professional demeanor and impressive knowledge of the local market immediately impressed her. "I've been selling homes in this area for 15 years, Algernon told her confidently. "I know exactly what properties are coming on the market before they're publicly listed." Algernon showed Amanda several beautiful homes, each seemingly perfect for her needs and budget. He explained that as an experienced agent, he had access to exclusive listings that weren't available to other buyers. "This property just came on the market yesterday," Algernon said, showing her a stunning colonial home. "The seller is motivated and willing to accept offers below asking price." Amanda felt excited about the exclusive access and trusted Algernon's expertise completely. She made an offer on the colonial home, putting down a $5,000 earnest money deposit through Algernon's agency. Algernon assured her that her offer was competitive and likely to be accepted within 24 hours. Days passed with no response from the seller, despite Algernon's promises that acceptance was imminent. When Amanda drove by the property, she noticed it still had a for sale sign from a different real estate agency. Investigation revealed that Algernon had never represented the property and had no authority to accept offers or deposits. The real listing agent had never heard of Algernon or Amanda's supposed offer. Amanda's $5,000 deposit had disappeared into Algernon's personal account, and he had vanished without a trace. The beautiful colonial home was legitimately for sale, but at a price $50,000 higher than what Algernon had quoted. Amanda lost her deposit and learned that legitimate real estate agents always provide proper documentation and work through established agencies with verifiable licenses and credentials. Marcus was selling his deceased mother's house when real estate agent Barnabas approached him with an urgent cash offer. "I have a buyer who's very interested in your property," Barnabas explained professionally. "He's willing to pay cash and close within 2 weeks, but we need to act quickly because he's looking at other properties." The offer was slightly below asking price, but Marcus appreciated the speed and certainty of a cash transaction. Barnabas presented official-looking paperwork and explained that the buyer was an investor who purchased properties for rental income. "Cash buyers don't need financing contingencies," Barnabas assured him. "This transaction will be much simpler and faster than dealing with traditional buyers who need mortgages." Marcus felt relieved to avoid the complexities of showing the house and dealing with financing delays. He signed the purchase agreement and gave Barnabas the keys for the buyer's inspection. Barnabas collected a commission check immediately, claiming the buyer wanted to expedite the closing process. Weeks passed with no closing date scheduled, despite Barnabas's assurances that paperwork was being processed. When Marcus tried to contact Barnabas, he discovered the phone numbers were disconnected and the real estate office had no record of any agent named Barnabas. Investigation revealed that there was no cash buyer, and Barnabas had been showing the house to potential renters while collecting security deposits from multiple tenants. Marcus found several families who had paid Barnabas first month's rent and security deposits for his mother's house, believing they were legitimate tenants. Barnabas had collected thousands of dollars from fake tenants and the fraudulent commission before disappearing completely. Marcus had to refund money to the innocent families and start the selling process over with a legitimate real estate agent. The emotional stress of dealing with fraud while grieving his mother's death was overwhelming and prolonged his healing process significantly. Charlotte was looking for her first apartment when she found the perfect place on Craigslist. The listing featured beautiful photos of a modern apartment with granite countertops and hardwood floors. "Luxury apartment available for immediate move-in," the ad proclaimed. "Recently renovated with all new appliances and premium finishes throughout." The rent was surprisingly affordable for such an upscale apartment in a desirable neighborhood. Charlotte contacted the number listed and spoke with someone claiming to be the property manager, Benedict. "The apartment is available because the previous tenant broke their lease," Benedict explained. "I'm offering it at a reduced rate to find a reliable tenant quickly." Benedict provided detailed information about the apartment and neighborhood, sounding knowledgeable and professional. He explained that he was traveling for business but could arrange for Charlotte to view the apartment by getting the keys from a lockbox. "I just need the security deposit and first month's rent to hold the apartment," Benedict told her. "Once you send the payment, I'll provide the lockbox code for your viewing." Charlotte felt excited about the beautiful apartment and affordable rent in her preferred neighborhood. She sent Benedict $1,500 through a wire transfer, believing she was securing her dream apartment. Benedict provided the lockbox code, But when Charlotte arrived at the address, she found no lockbox and no apartment matching the photos. The building manager had never heard of Benedict and confirmed that no apartments were available for rent. Investigation revealed that Benedict had stolen photos from a real estate website and created fake listings to collect deposits from unsuspecting renters. Charlotte lost her $1,500 and learned that legitimate property managers never request payment before allowing prospective tenants to view the actual property. The photos in the Craigslist ad were from a luxury apartment in a different state that Benedict had never owned or managed. Charlotte's dream apartment was entirely fictional, created to exploit her desire for affordable luxury housing in a competitive rental market. Benjamin was searching for commercial property when real estate investor Beauregard contacted him about an exclusive investment opportunity. "I have access to distressed properties that banks are selling below market value," Beauregard explained confidently. "Investors who work with me typically see returns of 30 to 50% within the first year." Beauregard presented documentation showing several properties that he claimed to have purchased and resold for substantial profits. The investment strategy seemed straightforward: purchase distressed properties at discount prices, make minimal improvements, and resell them quickly for significant profits. "This property just became available," Beauregard said, showing Benjamin photos of a commercial building. "The bank wants to sell quickly and is accepting offers significantly below appraised value." Benjamin felt intrigued by the investment opportunity and Beauregard's apparent track record of successful property flips. Beauregard explained that investors needed to act quickly because banks received multiple offers on distressed properties within days of listing them. "I need a $10,000 deposit to secure your position as the buyer," Beauregard told him. "Once the bank accepts our offer, you'll need to provide the remaining funds for the purchase." Benjamin wire transferred the deposit, believing he was securing a profitable real estate investment with an experienced partner. Beauregard provided updates about negotiations with the bank and assured Benjamin that the purchase was proceeding smoothly toward a quick closing. Weeks passed with no closing date, despite Beauregard's promises that bank approval was imminent and paperwork was being finalized. When Benjamin researched the property address, he discovered that the building had been demolished 2 years earlier and the lot was empty. Investigation revealed that Beauregard had used old photos and fake documentation to create the illusion of available investment properties. Benjamin lost his $10,000 deposit and learned that legitimate real estate investments require proper documentation, title searches, and verified property ownership. Beauregard had disappeared, likely targeting other investors with similar fake, distressed property opportunities and fraudulent investment schemes. Diana was house hunting with her family when real estate agent Blake showed them a beautiful Victorian home that seemed perfect for their needs. "This property has been on the market for only 2 days," Blake told them enthusiastically. "The sellers are motivated because they've already purchased their new home and need to close quickly." The house featured original hardwood floors, updated kitchen, and a large backyard perfect for their children. Blake explained that similar homes in the neighborhood had been selling quickly above asking price due to high demand. "I recommend making a strong offer today," Blake advised them. "Properties like this don't last long in the current market conditions." Diana and her husband felt pressured by the competitive market and trusted Blake's expertise about local real estate trends. They made an offer $10,000 above asking price and provided a substantial earnest money deposit to strengthen their position. Blake assured them that their offer was competitive and likely to be accepted within 24 hours of submission. Days passed with no response from the seller, despite Blake's assurances that acceptance was expected momentarily. When Diana drove by the property, she noticed the for sale sign was from a different real estate company. Investigation revealed that Blake had no connection to the property and had been showing homes without permission from the legitimate listing agents. The real listing agent confirmed that no offers had been submitted on behalf of Diana's family. Blake had collected their earnest money deposit but never submitted any paperwork to the actual seller or listing agent. Diana's family lost their $5,000 deposit and several weeks of house hunting time while Blake disappeared with their money. The Victorian home was legitimately for sale, but at a price significantly higher than what Blake had quoted to them. Diana learned that legitimate real estate agents always provide proper documentation and work through established multiple listing services with verified property information and seller authorization. Emma was relocating for work when she found the perfect rental house online. The listing featured professional photos of a charming bungalow with a fenced yard and updated interior. Beautiful family home available for immediate occupancy, the description read. Owner relocating and seeking responsible tenant for long-term rental agreement. The rent was reasonable for the neighborhood, and the house appeared to meet all of Emma's requirements for her family. She contacted the phone number listed and spoke with someone claiming to be the homeowner, Clarence. I'm moving overseas for work and need to rent my house to a reliable family, Clarence explained. The property management company I was using was too expensive, so I'm handling the rental myself. Clarence provided detailed information about the house and neighborhood, answering Emma's questions knowledgeably and professionally. He explained that he was currently traveling for business, but could arrange for Emma to get the keys from a neighbor after she completed the rental application. I just need the security deposit and first month's rent to hold the house for you, Clarence told her. Once you send the payment, I'll arrange for you to get the keys and move in immediately. Emma felt excited about the charming house and sent Clarence $2,400 through a wire transfer for the deposit and first month's rent. Clarence provided an address and instructions for getting the keys from a neighbor who was supposedly helping manage the property. When Emma arrived at the address, she found the neighbor had never heard of Clarence and had no keys to provide. The house was occupied by a family who had been living there for several years and had no plans to move. Investigation revealed that Clarence had stolen photos from a real estate website and created fake rental listings to collect deposits from unsuspecting tenants. Emma lost her $2,400 and had to find emergency housing for her family while dealing with the stress of job relocation. The charming bungalow was never actually available for rent, and the real owners had no knowledge of Clarence's fraudulent rental scheme targeting relocating families. Ferdinand was looking for investment property when mortgage broker Fitzgerald contacted him about exclusive lending opportunities for real estate investors. I work with private lenders who provide funding for investment properties that traditional banks won't finance, Fitzgerald explained professionally. Investors who work with these lenders can purchase properties with minimal down payments and excellent terms. Fitzgerald presented documentation showing successful real estate investments that he had allegedly helped finance through his private lending network. The lending terms seemed attractive, with low interest rates and flexible qualification requirements that would allow Ferdinand to purchase multiple investment properties. This lender specializes in working with investors who want to build real estate portfolios quickly, Fitzgerald told him. They understand that traditional bank financing moves too slowly for competitive real estate markets. Ferdinand felt intrigued by the opportunity to access private lending that could accelerate his real estate investment plans. Fitzgerald explained that private lenders required upfront fees to process loan applications and verify investor qualifications before approving funding. The application fee is $3,000, which covers due diligence and loan processing, Fitzgerald said. Once approved, you'll have access to funding for multiple investment properties with excellent terms. Ferdinand paid the application fee, believing he was accessing exclusive private lending opportunities for real estate investment. Fitzgerald provided updates about the loan approval process and assured Ferdinand that funding would be available within 2 weeks. Weeks passed with no loan approval, despite Fitzgerald's promises that private lenders were finalizing Ferdinand's application and preparing funding documents. When Ferdinand researched Fitzgerald's company, he discovered that the business address was a mailbox rental and the phone numbers were disconnected. Investigation revealed that Fitzgerald had no connections to legitimate private lenders and was collecting application fees from investors without providing any actual lending services. Ferdinand lost his $3,000 and learned that legitimate mortgage brokers never require upfront fees before providing loan services. Fitzgerald's private lending network was entirely fictional, designed to exploit investors' desire for alternative financing options in competitive real estate markets. Grace was selling her condo when real estate agent Francisco contacted her with an urgent buyer. I have a client who's very interested in your property, Francisco told her professionally. He's been looking for a condo in your building for months and is willing to pay full asking price for immediate sale. The offer seemed too good to be true, but Francisco provided legitimate-looking paperwork and explained that his client was relocating for work and needed to purchase quickly. My client is pre-approved for financing and ready to close within 3 weeks, Francisco assured her. This could be the perfect solution for both you and him. Grace felt relieved to have such an interested buyer after her condo had been on the market for several months without serious offers. Francisco handled all the paperwork and communications with the supposed buyer, keeping Grace updated on the progress toward closing. "The buyer's financing is approved, and we're just waiting for the final appraisal," Francisco told her regularly. "Everything is proceeding smoothly toward our scheduled closing date." Grace felt confident about the sale and stopped showing her condo to other potential buyers, believing she had a committed purchaser. Days before the scheduled closing, Francisco contacted Grace with an urgent request for her banking information to process the wire transfer. "The buyer's bank needs your account details to transfer the proceeds directly to you," Francisco explained. "This will expedite the closing and ensure you receive payment immediately." Grace provided her banking information, trusting Francisco's explanation about standard closing procedures. Within hours, Grace discovered that someone had attempted to access her bank account using the information she had provided to Francisco. Investigation revealed that there was no buyer, and Francisco had been planning to steal Grace's banking information rather than facilitate a legitimate real estate transaction. Francisco disappeared when Grace confronted him about the fraudulent closing, leaving her to restart the selling process with a legitimate real estate agent. Grace learned that legitimate real estate transactions involve title companies and attorneys who handle all financial transfers, and agents never request personal banking information from clients. The supposed buyer was entirely fictional, created to gain Grace's trust and access to her financial information for identity theft purposes. Harold was house hunting when real estate agent Gregory showed him a beautiful colonial home in his preferred neighborhood. "This property just came on the market yesterday," Gregory told him confidentially. "The sellers are motivated because they're getting divorced and need to sell quickly." The house featured everything Harold wanted: updated kitchen, finished basement, and a large yard perfect for entertaining. Gregory explained that he had exclusive access to the property before it was publicly listed, giving Harold an advantage over other potential buyers. "If you're seriously interested, I recommend making an offer today," Gregory advised him. Properties in this neighborhood typically receive multiple offers within hours of being listed. Harold felt excited about the exclusive opportunity and trusted Gregory's expertise about the local real estate market. He made a competitive offer and provided a $10,000 earnest money deposit to demonstrate his serious interest in purchasing the property. Gregory assured him that the offer would be presented to the sellers immediately and that acceptance was likely given the exclusive nature of the opportunity. Days passed with no response from the sellers, despite Gregory's promises that they were reviewing Harold's offer favorably. When Harold researched the property online, he discovered it had been sold 6 months earlier to different buyers. Investigation revealed that Gregory had been showing a house that was no longer for sale, using old listing photos and fake documentation to create the illusion of availability. The current homeowners had never heard of Gregory and had no intention of selling their recently purchased home. Harold lost his $10,000 earnest money deposit and several weeks of house hunting time while Gregory disappeared with multiple victims' deposits. Gregory had been running the same scam with several properties in the neighborhood, collecting deposits from unsuspecting buyers for homes that weren't actually for sale. Harold learned that legitimate real estate agents always verify property availability and seller authorization before showing homes or accepting offers from potential buyers. The beautiful colonial home was happily occupied by its current owners, who were shocked to learn about Gregory's fraudulent activities involving their property. Isabella was looking for her first home when real estate agent Harrison contacted her about a special first-time buyer program. "I work with a lender that provides excellent terms for first-time home buyers," Harrison explained enthusiastically. "They offer lower down payments and reduced interest rates that make homeownership affordable for young professionals." Isabella felt excited about the opportunity to purchase her first home despite her limited savings and moderate income. Harrison showed her several beautiful properties that seemed within her budget range, explaining how the special financing program made them affordable. "This lender understands that first-time buyers need flexible terms," Harrison told her. "They're willing to work with buyers who have good credit but limited cash for down payments." Isabella found a charming starter home that seemed perfect for her needs and budget constraints. Harrison explained that the special lending program required an upfront processing fee to secure the favorable terms and expedite the approval process. The processing fee is $1,500, which covers underwriting and ensures you get the best possible terms, Harrison said. This fee is much less than what you'll save on interest over the life of the loan. Isabella paid the processing fee, believing she was accessing exclusive financing that would make homeownership possible. Harrison provided updates about the loan approval process and assured Isabella that funding would be available for her chosen property. Weeks passed with no loan approval, despite Harrison's promises that the lender was finalizing Isabella's application and preparing closing documents. When Isabella contacted the supposed lender directly, she discovered that the company didn't exist and Harrison had provided fake contact information. Investigation revealed that Harrison had no connections to legitimate lenders and was collecting processing fees from first-time buyers without providing any actual financing services. Isabella lost her $1,500 and learned that legitimate real estate agents work with licensed lenders who never require upfront fees for loan processing. Harrison's special first-time buyer program was entirely fictional, designed to exploit young professionals' desire for homeownership despite financial limitations and inexperience with real estate transactions. Jackson was searching for commercial space when property manager Janet showed him a perfect retail location in a busy shopping center. This space just became available when the previous tenant broke their lease, Janet explained professionally. The landlord is offering excellent terms to attract a reliable long-term tenant quickly. The retail space featured large windows, excellent foot traffic, and reasonable rent for such a prime commercial location. Janet provided detailed information about the shopping center's traffic patterns and explained why the location would be perfect for Jackson's business plans. The landlord is willing to offer the first 3 months rent-free as an incentive, Janet told him. He wants to find a quality tenant who will contribute to the shopping center's success. Jackson felt excited about the opportunity and believed the location would be perfect for his new restaurant concept. Janet explained that the landlord required first month's rent and security deposit to hold the space while lease documents were prepared. The rent-free period doesn't start until you officially take possession, Janet said. But paying the deposit now ensures no other tenant can claim the space. Jackson provided $4,000 for the deposit and first month's rent, trusting Janet's representation of the landlord's terms and conditions. Janet assured him that lease documents would be ready for signing within 1 week, and he could begin planning his restaurant renovation immediately. Days passed with no lease documents, despite Janet's promises that the landlord's attorney was finalizing the paperwork. When Jackson visited the shopping center management office, he discovered that Janet had no connection to the property and the retail space had been vacant for over a year. The real property manager had never heard of Janet and confirmed that no lease negotiations were taking place for the space. Jackson lost his $4,000 deposit and learned that legitimate commercial leases involve property management companies with verifiable credentials and proper documentation. Janet had disappeared, likely targeting other business owners with similar fake commercial lease opportunities in desirable retail locations throughout the area. Kenneth was house hunting when real estate agent Leroy contacted him about an exclusive pocket listing. "I have a property that the seller wants to keep off the public market," Leroy explained confidentially. "He's willing to sell privately to avoid the hassle of showings and multiple offers." The house was exactly what Kenneth had been searching for: move-in ready, excellent neighborhood, and priced below comparable properties in the area. Leroy explained that pocket listings were common among motivated sellers who valued privacy and wanted to avoid the stress of traditional marketing. "The seller is relocating for work and needs to close quickly," Leroy told him. "He's willing to accept a reasonable offer to expedite the sale process." Kenneth felt fortunate to have access to such an exclusive opportunity and trusted Leroy's explanation about private real estate transactions. Leroy showed him detailed photos and property information, answering Kenneth's questions about the home's condition and neighborhood amenities. Kenneth made an offer and provided a $7,000 earnest money deposit to demonstrate his serious interest in the pocket listing. Leroy assured him that the seller would review the offer immediately and that acceptance was likely given the private nature of the transaction. Days passed with no response from the seller, despite Leroy's promises that acceptance was imminent and closing documents were being prepared. When Kenneth researched the property address, he discovered that the house was currently occupied by a family who had lived there for 5 years. Investigation revealed that the supposed pocket listing was entirely fictional, and Leroy had no authority to represent the property or accept offers from buyers. The homeowners had never heard of Leroy and had no plans to sell their house privately or through traditional real estate channels. Kenneth lost his $7,000 deposit and learned that legitimate pocket listings involve proper documentation and seller authorization, even when properties aren't publicly marketed. Leroy had disappeared with multiple victims' deposits, using the same fake pocket listing scam to exploit buyers' desire for exclusive access to desirable properties. Lily was relocating for work when she found the perfect apartment through real estate agent Lysander. "This apartment just became available in your preferred neighborhood," Lysander told her professionally. The previous tenant gave short notice, so the landlord is eager to find a replacement quickly. The apartment featured modern amenities, convenient location, and reasonable rent for such a desirable area. Lysander provided detailed photos and information about the building's amenities, explaining why the location would be perfect for Lily's work commute. The landlord is offering a discount on the security deposit for qualified tenants who can move in immediately, Lysander said. He wants to minimize vacancy time and find a reliable long-term tenant. Lily felt excited about the apartment and appreciated the discount on move-in costs during her expensive relocation process. Lysander explained that the landlord required first month's rent and security deposit to hold the apartment while he completed background checks and lease preparation. "The apartment is in high demand, so we need to secure it quickly," Lysander told her. "Once you send the deposit, I'll provide the keys and lease documents for your move-in date." Lily wire transferred $1,800 for the deposit and first month's rent, believing she was securing her ideal apartment. Lysander provided confirmation and assured her that keys would be available for her planned move-in date the following week. When Lily arrived for move-in day, she discovered that the apartment building had no record of her rental agreement and no available units. The building manager had never heard of Lysander and confirmed that no apartments were currently available for rent in the building. Investigation revealed that Lysander had stolen photos from legitimate rental listings and created fake apartment opportunities to collect deposits from relocating tenants. Lily lost her $1,800 and had to find emergency housing while dealing with the stress of job relocation and starting a new position. Lysander had disappeared, likely targeting other relocating professionals with similar fake apartment rental opportunities in desirable neighborhoods throughout the city. Magnolia was selling her inherited property when real estate investor Marcus contacted her about a quick cash purchase. "I specialize in buying inherited properties from families who want to avoid the hassle of traditional sales," Marcus explained sympathetically. "Many people in your situation prefer cash transactions that close quickly without repairs or inspections." The inherited property needed significant work, and Magnolia felt overwhelmed by the prospect of managing renovations while dealing with estate settlement. Marcus offered to purchase the property in its current condition for a reasonable cash price that would eliminate her maintenance responsibilities. "I buy houses exactly as they are," Marcus told her. "You won't need to spend any money on repairs or worry about buyer financing falling through." Magnolia appreciated the simplicity of a cash sale and Marcus's understanding of her situation as someone dealing with inherited property. Marcus explained that cash purchases required earnest money to demonstrate serious intent while he arranged financing for the quick closing. "I need $2,000 to secure the purchase while I arrange the cash funding," Marcus said. "This shows the title company that we're both committed to closing within 2 weeks." Magnolia provided the earnest money, believing she was expediting the sale of her inherited property through a legitimate cash investor. Marcus assured her that closing documents would be ready within days and that the cash purchase would proceed smoothly. Weeks passed with no closing date scheduled, despite Marcus's promises that financing was approved and title work was being completed. When Magnolia contacted the supposed title company, she discovered that they had never heard of Marcus or any pending real estate transaction. Investigation revealed that Marcus was not a legitimate real estate investor and had no ability to purchase properties or arrange cash financing. Magnolia lost her $2,000 and had to restart the selling process while continuing to maintain the inherited property. Marcus had disappeared, likely targeting other families dealing with inherited properties and estate settlement challenges throughout the area. Maxwell was house hunting when real estate agent Melissa showed him a beautiful ranch home that seemed perfect for his retirement plans. "This property has been on the market for only 3 days," Melissa told him confidentially. "The sellers are motivated because they've found their dream home and need to close quickly." The house featured single-level living, updated bathrooms, and a large deck perfect for entertaining family and friends. Melissa explained that the sellers were flexible on price because they wanted to avoid carrying two mortgages during their transition. They're willing to negotiate on both price and closing timeline, Melissa said. This could be an excellent opportunity for someone ready to make a strong offer. Maxwell felt excited about the retirement home and trusted Melissa's assessment of the seller's motivation and flexibility. He made an offer $5,000 below asking price and provided a substantial earnest money deposit to demonstrate his serious interest. Melissa assured him that the offer would be presented immediately and that acceptance was likely given the seller's desire for a quick sale. Days passed with no response from the sellers, despite Melissa's promises that they were considering Maxwell's offer favorably. When Maxwell researched the property online, he discovered that it had been sold 3 weeks earlier to different buyers. Investigation revealed that Melissa had been showing a house that was no longer for sale, using outdated listing information to create the illusion of availability. The new homeowners had never heard of Melissa and were already settled into their recently purchased retirement home. Maxwell lost his $5,000 earnest money deposit and several weeks of house hunting time, while Melissa disappeared with multiple victims' deposits. Melissa had been running the same scam with several properties in retirement-friendly neighborhoods, collecting deposits from unsuspecting buyers for homes that had already been sold. Maxwell learned that legitimate real estate agents always verify current property status and seller authorization before showing homes or accepting offers from potential buyers. Natalie was searching for rental property when she found the perfect townhouse listed online. The photos showed a modern 2-bedroom unit with granite countertops and stainless steel appliances. Beautiful townhouse available for immediate occupancy, the listing stated. Recently renovated with premium finishes throughout and convenient location near shopping and dining. The rent was competitive for the neighborhood, and the townhouse appeared to offer everything Natalie needed for her young family. She contacted the number listed and spoke with someone claiming to be the property owner, Nicole. "I'm renting this townhouse because I relocated for work," Nicole explained. "I'm looking for a responsible family to take excellent care of my property." Nicole provided detailed information about the townhouse and neighborhood, answering Natalie's questions about schools and local amenities professionally. She explained that she was currently traveling for business but could arrange for Natalie to view the property after completing a rental application. "I just need the security deposit and first month's rent to hold the townhouse," Nicole told her. "Once you send the payment, I'll provide the garage code so you can view the property and get your keys." Natalie felt excited about the modern townhouse and sent Nicole $2,100 through a wire transfer for the deposit and rent. Nicole provided a garage code and address, assuring Natalie that she could move in immediately after viewing the property. When Natalie arrived at the address, she found that the garage code didn't work and the townhouse was occupied by a family who had been living there for 2 years. The real homeowners had never heard of Nicole and had no plans to rent their recently purchased townhouse. Investigation revealed that Nicole had stolen photos from a real estate website and created fake rental listings to collect deposits from unsuspecting families. Natalie lost her $2,100 and had to find alternative housing while dealing with the stress of relocating with young children. Nicole had disappeared, likely targeting other families with similar fake townhouse rental opportunities in family-friendly neighborhoods throughout the metropolitan area. Omar was looking for office space when commercial real estate agent Ophelia contacted him about an excellent opportunity. "I have office space available in a prestigious building that just became vacant," Ophelia told him professionally. The previous tenant relocated, and the landlord is offering exceptional terms to attract a quality replacement quickly. The office space featured modern amenities, convenient parking, and reasonable rent for such a prime commercial location in the business district. Ophelia provided detailed information about the building's professional atmosphere and explained why the location would be perfect for Omar's consulting business. "The landlord is offering the first 2 months rent-free as a move-in incentive," Ophelia said. "He wants to maintain high occupancy with reputable professional tenants." Omar felt impressed by the office space and believed the location would enhance his business's professional image with clients. Ophelia explained that the landlord required a security deposit and first month's rent to reserve the space while lease documents were prepared. "The rent-free period begins after you take possession," Ophelia told him. "But securing the space now prevents other tenants from claiming this premium location." Omar provided $3,000 for the deposit and first month's rent, trusting Ophelia's representation of the landlord's terms. Ophelia assured him that lease documents would be ready for signing within 1 week, and he could begin moving his business immediately. Days passed with no lease documents, despite Ophelia's promises that the landlord's attorney was finalizing the paperwork and preparing for closing. When Omar contacted the building management company directly, he discovered that Ophelia had no connection to the property and no office space was available. The building manager had never heard of Ophelia and confirmed that all office spaces were currently occupied by long-term tenants. Omar lost his $3,000 deposit and learned that legitimate commercial real estate transactions involve property management companies with verifiable credentials. Ophelia had disappeared, likely targeting other business owners with similar fake office space opportunities in prestigious commercial buildings throughout the business district. Patricia was house hunting when real estate agent Percival showed her a charming cottage that seemed perfect for her downsizing plans. "This property just came on the market this morning," Percival told her enthusiastically. "The sellers are motivated because they're moving out of state for retirement. The cottage featured cozy rooms, updated systems, and a manageable yard perfect for someone transitioning from a larger home." Percival explained that properties like this were rare in the current market and typically received multiple offers within hours of listing. "If you're interested, I recommend making an offer today," Percival advised her. Cottages in this neighborhood don't stay on the market long because they're perfect for downsizing. Patricia felt excited about the charming cottage and trusted Percival's expertise about local real estate market conditions. She made a competitive offer and provided a $6,000 earnest money deposit to strengthen her position against other potential buyers. Percival assured her that the offer would be presented to the sellers immediately and that acceptance was likely given the cottage's appeal. Days passed with no response from the sellers, despite Percival's promises that they were reviewing Patricia's offer favorably. When Patricia researched the property address, she discovered that the cottage had been demolished 6 months earlier for new construction. Investigation revealed that Percival had been using old listing photos and fake documentation to show properties that no longer existed. The current lot was empty except for construction equipment preparing for a new home to be built on the site. Patricia lost her $6,000 earnest money deposit and several weeks of house hunting time, while Percival disappeared with multiple victims' deposits. Percival had been running the same scam with several demolished properties in desirable neighborhoods, collecting deposits from unsuspecting buyers for homes that had been torn down. Patricia learned that legitimate real estate agents always verify current property status and physical existence before showing homes or accepting offers from potential buyers. Quincy was relocating for work when he found the perfect rental condo through property manager Rachel. "This condo just became available in your preferred building," Rachel told him professionally. "The previous tenant gave notice early, so we're looking for someone who can move in immediately." The condo featured modern amenities, city views, and convenient location for Quincy's new job downtown. Rachel provided detailed information about the building's amenities and explained why the location would be perfect for his work commute and lifestyle. "The building offers a fitness center, rooftop deck, and concierge services," Rachel said. "Most units have waiting lists, but this one became available unexpectedly." Quincy felt excited about the luxury condo and appreciated finding such a desirable unit during his tight relocation timeline. Rachel explained that the building required first month's rent, last month's rent, and security deposit to secure the unit while background checks were completed. "Luxury buildings have strict application processes," Rachel told him. "But paying the deposits now ensures the unit is held for you during processing." Quincy wire transferred $4,000 for the required deposits, believing he was securing his ideal luxury housing. Rachel provided confirmation and assured him that keys would be available for his planned move-in date. When Quincy arrived for move-in day, he discovered that the building had no record of his rental agreement and no available units. The building manager had never heard of Rachel and confirmed that the condo she had shown him was owner-occupied. Investigation revealed that Rachel had no connection to the luxury building and had created fake rental opportunities using photos from real estate websites. Quincy lost his $4,000 and had to find emergency housing while starting his new job in an unfamiliar city. Rachel had disappeared, likely targeting other relocating professionals with similar fake luxury condo rental opportunities in high-end buildings throughout the downtown area. Reginald was selling his vacation home when real estate agent Robert contacted him about a motivated buyer. "I have a client who's very interested in your lake property," Robert told him professionally. "He's been searching for a vacation home in this area for over a year and is ready to make a strong offer." The buyer supposedly wanted to purchase quickly for family reunions and was willing to pay close to asking price for immediate sale. Robert provided legitimate-looking documentation and explained that his client was pre-approved for financing and ready to close within 1 month. "My client loves the lake access and privacy your property offers," Robert said. "He's prepared to make a competitive offer today if we can arrange a quick inspection." Reginald felt relieved to have such an interested buyer after his vacation home had been on the market for several months. Robert handled all communications with the supposed buyer, providing regular updates about the inspection and financing approval process. The buyer's inspector found only minor issues, and he's still committed to purchasing at full asking price, Robert told him. "We're just waiting for final loan approval from his bank." Reginald felt confident about the sale and declined other showings, believing he had a committed buyer ready to close. Days before the scheduled closing, Robert contacted Reginald with an urgent request for his banking information to facilitate the wire transfer. "The buyer's bank needs your account details to transfer the proceeds directly," Robert explained. "This will ensure you receive payment immediately at closing." Reginald provided his banking information, trusting Robert's explanation about standard closing procedures and wire transfer requirements. Within hours, Reginald discovered unauthorized attempts to access his bank account using the information he had provided to Robert. Investigation revealed that there was no buyer, and Robert had been planning to steal Reginald's banking information rather than facilitate a legitimate sale. Robert disappeared when confronted about the fraudulent transaction, leaving Reginald to restart the selling process and monitor his financial accounts. Reginald learned that legitimate real estate closings involve title companies that handle all financial transfers without requiring personal banking information from sellers. Rosalind was looking for commercial property when real estate investor Russell showed her a warehouse that seemed perfect for her manufacturing business. "This property just became available when the previous tenant's lease expired," Russell explained professionally. "The owner is motivated to find a new tenant quickly to avoid vacancy costs." The warehouse featured high ceilings, loading docks, and ample space for Rosalind's growing manufacturing operation. Russell provided detailed information about the property's specifications and explained why the location would be ideal for her business needs. "The owner is willing to offer excellent lease terms because he wants a reliable long-term tenant," Russell told her. "Manufacturing businesses are exactly what he's looking for in this industrial area." Rosalind felt excited about expanding her business into the larger facility and appreciated Russell's understanding of manufacturing requirements. Russell explained that the owner required a substantial security deposit to reserve the warehouse while lease documents were prepared. "Industrial leases require larger deposits because of the specialized nature of manufacturing operations," Russell said. "But this ensures you get the space and prevents other manufacturers from claiming it." Rosalind provided $8,000 for the security deposit, believing she was securing the perfect warehouse for her business expansion. Russell assured her that lease documents would be ready within 1 week and that she could begin planning her move immediately. Days passed with no lease documents, despite Russell's promises that the owner's attorney was finalizing the paperwork. When Rosalind contacted the property owner directly, she discovered that Russell had no authority to represent the warehouse and no lease negotiations were taking place. The real property manager had never heard of Russell and confirmed that the warehouse was still occupied by the previous tenant. Rosalind lost her $8,000 deposit and learned that legitimate commercial real estate transactions involve property owners or authorized agents with proper documentation. Russell had disappeared, likely targeting other business owners with similar fake warehouse rental opportunities in industrial areas throughout the region. Ryan was house hunting when real estate agent Samantha contacted him about a foreclosure opportunity. "I have access to foreclosed properties before they go to public auction," Samantha explained confidentially. "Banks often sell these properties privately to avoid the costs and uncertainty of foreclosure auctions." The foreclosed house was in excellent condition and priced significantly below market value for the desirable neighborhood. Samantha provided detailed information about the foreclosure process and explained how Ryan could purchase the property before other buyers discovered the opportunity. "Banks prefer private sales because they're faster and more reliable than auctions," Samantha told him. You could save $30,000 compared to similar properties in this neighborhood. Ryan felt excited about the substantial savings and trusted Samantha's expertise about foreclosure sales and bank procedures. Samantha explained that banks required earnest money to demonstrate serious intent while they processed the paperwork for foreclosure sales. The bank needs $5,000 to reserve the property while they prepare the documentation, Samantha said. This prevents other buyers from claiming the foreclosure during processing. Ryan provided the earnest money, believing he was securing an excellent deal on a foreclosed property through Samantha's bank connections. Samantha assured him that the bank would approve the sale within 2 weeks and that closing documents would be ready soon. Weeks passed with no documentation from the bank, despite Samantha's promises that approval was imminent and paperwork was being finalized. When Ryan researched the property address, he discovered that the house was not in foreclosure and was happily occupied by homeowners who had lived there for 3 years. Investigation revealed that Samantha had no connections to banks or foreclosure sales and was using fake opportunities to collect deposits from buyers. The homeowners had never heard of Samantha and had no financial difficulties or foreclosure proceedings affecting their property. Ryan lost his $5,000 deposit and learned that legitimate foreclosure sales involve public records and proper legal documentation. Samantha had disappeared, likely targeting other buyers with similar fake foreclosure opportunities promising below-market prices in desirable neighborhoods. Sebastian was relocating for retirement when he found the perfect condo through real estate agent Sterling. "This condo just became available in the retirement community you mentioned," Sterling told him enthusiastically. "The previous owner moved to assisted living, and the family wants to sell quickly." The condo featured single-level living, community amenities, and reasonable pricing for such a desirable retirement location. Sterling provided detailed information about the community's activities and explained why the location would be perfect for Sebastian's retirement plans. The community offers golf, swimming, and social activities specifically designed for active retirees, Sterling said. Units in this community rarely become available because residents love living here. Sebastian felt excited about the retirement condo and appreciated finding such a perfect match for his needs and budget. Sterling explained that the family wanted to sell quickly and was accepting offers below market value to expedite the sale process. "They're motivated because they want to settle the estate quickly," Sterling told him. "This could be an excellent opportunity for someone ready to make an immediate offer." Sebastian made an offer and provided a $12,000 earnest money deposit to demonstrate his serious interest in the retirement condo. Sterling assured him that the family would review the offer immediately and that acceptance was likely given their motivation to sell. Days passed with no response from the family, despite Sterling's promises that acceptance was expected and closing preparations were beginning. When Sebastian visited the retirement community, he discovered that no condos were currently for sale and the unit Sterling had shown him was occupied. The community manager had never heard of Sterling and confirmed that no recent sales or listings existed in the community. Sebastian lost his $12,000 deposit and learned that legitimate retirement community sales involve community management and proper documentation. Sterling had disappeared, likely targeting other retirees with similar fake condo opportunities in desirable retirement communities throughout the region. Sebastian's retirement plans were delayed while he searched for legitimate housing options and dealt with the financial loss from the fraudulent transaction. Stephanie was searching for investment property when mortgage broker Tabitha contacted her about exclusive lending opportunities for real estate investors. "I work with private lenders who provide funding for investment properties that traditional banks consider too risky," Tabitha explained professionally. "Investors who work with these lenders can purchase properties quickly without the delays of conventional financing." Tabitha presented documentation showing successful real estate investments that she had allegedly helped finance through her private lending network. The lending terms seemed attractive, with fast approval times and flexible qualification requirements perfect for investment property purchases. This lender specializes in working with investors who want to build portfolios quickly in competitive markets, Tabitha told her. "They understand that traditional financing moves too slowly for good investment opportunities." Stephanie felt intrigued by the opportunity to access private lending that could accelerate her real estate investment plans beyond conventional bank limitations. Tabitha explained that private lenders required application fees to cover due diligence and risk assessment before approving funding for investment properties. The application fee is $4,000, which covers property evaluation and investor qualification, Tabitha said. Once approved, you'll have access to funding for multiple investment properties with excellent terms. Stephanie paid the application fee, believing she was accessing exclusive private lending opportunities for real estate investment. Tabitha provided updates about the approval process and assured Stephanie that funding would be available for her first investment property within 3 weeks. Weeks passed with no loan approval, despite Tabitha's promises that private lenders were finalizing Stephanie's application and preparing funding documents. When Stephanie researched Tabitha's company, she discovered that the business address was a virtual office and the phone numbers were forwarded to voicemail. Investigation revealed that Tabitha had no connections to legitimate private lenders and was collecting application fees from investors without providing any actual lending services. Stephanie lost her $4,000 and learned that legitimate mortgage brokers work with licensed lenders who never require upfront fees. Tabitha's private lending network was entirely fictional, designed to exploit investors' desire for alternative financing options in competitive real estate markets. Thaddeus was selling his family farm when real estate agent Trevor contacted him about agricultural investors interested in purchasing farmland. "I work with investment groups that specialize in agricultural properties," Trevor explained professionally. "They're looking for quality farmland in this area and are willing to pay premium prices for the right properties." The farm had been in Thaddeus's family for generations, but he needed to sell due to financial difficulties and health concerns. Trevor offered to purchase the property for significantly more than Thaddeus had expected, claiming that agricultural investors valued prime farmland highly. "Agricultural land is becoming increasingly valuable as an investment asset," Trevor told him. "My investors are willing to pay above market value for properties with good soil and water access." Thaddeus felt relieved to receive such a generous offer for his struggling farm and appreciated Trevor's understanding of agricultural property values. Trevor explained that agricultural investors required earnest money to demonstrate commitment while they conducted soil tests and environmental assessments. The investors need $3,000 to secure the purchase while they complete their due diligence, Trevor said. This shows their serious intent and prevents other buyers from claiming the property. Thaddeus provided the earnest money, believing he was securing an excellent sale price for his family farm through Trevor's agricultural investment connections. Trevor assured him that the investors would complete their assessments within 2 weeks and that closing documents would be prepared soon. Weeks passed with no communication from the supposed investors, despite Trevor's promises that assessments were complete and closing was imminent. When Thaddeus researched Trevor's company, he discovered that the business address was a mailbox rental and no agricultural investment group existed. Investigation revealed that Trevor had no connections to legitimate agricultural investors and was collecting earnest money from struggling farmers without any ability to complete purchases. Thaddeus lost his $3,000 and had to restart the selling process while continuing to struggle with farm maintenance and financial obligations. Trevor had disappeared, likely targeting other struggling farmers with similar fake agricultural investment opportunities promising above-market prices. Tyler was house hunting when real estate agent Vanessa showed him a beautiful Tudor home that seemed perfect for his growing family. "This property just came on the market yesterday," Vanessa told him confidentially. "The sellers are relocating for work and need to sell quickly before their transfer deadline. The house featured spacious rooms, updated systems, and a large yard perfect for children and entertaining guests." Vanessa explained that the sellers were motivated because they had already purchased their new home and couldn't afford to carry 2 mortgages. "They're willing to negotiate on price and closing timeline to expedite the sale," Vanessa said. "This could be an excellent opportunity for a family ready to move quickly." Tyler felt excited about the family home and trusted Vanessa's assessment of the seller's motivation and timeline constraints. He made a competitive offer and provided a $9,000 earnest money deposit to demonstrate his family's serious interest. Vanessa assured him that the offer would be presented immediately and that acceptance was likely given the seller's urgency. Days passed with no response from the sellers, despite Vanessa's promises that they were reviewing Tyler's offer favorably and preparing counteroffers. When Tyler researched the property online, he discovered that the house had been sold 2 months earlier to different buyers. Investigation revealed that Vanessa had been showing a house that was no longer for sale, using outdated listing photos to create the illusion of availability. The current homeowners had never heard of Vanessa and were already settled into their recently purchased family home with their own children. Tyler lost his $9,000 earnest money deposit and several weeks of house hunting time, while Vanessa disappeared with multiple victims' deposits. Vanessa had been running the same scam with several properties in family-friendly neighborhoods, collecting deposits from unsuspecting buyers for homes that had already been sold. Tyler learned that legitimate real estate agents always verify current property status and seller authorization before showing homes or accepting offers from families. Veronica was searching for retail space when commercial real estate agent Victor contacted her about an excellent storefront opportunity. "I have retail space available in a high-traffic shopping district that just became vacant," Victor told her professionally. The previous tenant relocated, and the landlord is offering attractive terms to find a quality replacement quickly. The retail space featured large windows, excellent visibility, and reasonable rent for such a prime commercial location with heavy foot traffic. Victor provided detailed information about the shopping district's customer demographics and explained why the location would be perfect for Veronica's boutique concept. The landlord is offering tenant improvement allowances and flexible lease terms, Victor said. He wants to attract businesses that will contribute to the shopping district's success and customer appeal. Veronica felt excited about the retail opportunity and believed the location would be perfect for her fashion boutique, targeting young professionals. Victor explained that the landlord required first month's rent and security deposit to reserve the space, while lease documents were prepared and tenant improvements planned. "Prime retail locations like this don't stay vacant long," Victor told her. Securing the space now prevents other retailers from claiming this excellent opportunity. Veronica provided $5,000 for the deposit and first month's rent, trusting Victor's representation of the landlord's terms and lease conditions. Victor assured her that lease documents would be ready for signing within 1 week and that she could begin planning her boutique renovation. Days passed with no lease documents, despite Victor's promises that the landlord's attorney was finalizing paperwork and preparing for tenant improvements. When Veronica contacted the shopping district management company, she discovered that Victor had no connection to the retail space and no storefronts were available. The property manager had never heard of Victor and confirmed that all retail spaces were currently occupied by established businesses. Veronica lost her $5,000 deposit and learned that legitimate commercial real estate transactions involve property management companies with verifiable credentials and proper documentation. Victor had disappeared, likely targeting other entrepreneurs with similar fake retail space opportunities in desirable commercial locations throughout the shopping district. Wayne was selling his downtown loft when real estate agent Vivian contacted him about a cash buyer interested in urban properties. "I have an investor who specializes in downtown real estate," Vivian explained professionally. "He's looking for loft properties like yours and is prepared to make a competitive cash offer for quick closing." The investor supposedly wanted to purchase quickly for rental income and was willing to buy the loft in its current condition without repairs. Vivian provided legitimate-looking documentation and explained that cash buyers could close within 2 weeks without financing contingencies or inspection delays. "Cash transactions are much simpler than traditional sales," Vivian told him. "You won't have to worry about buyer financing falling through or inspection negotiations." Wayne felt attracted to the simplicity of a cash sale and appreciated avoiding the complexities of traditional real estate transactions. Vivian handled all communications with the supposed investor, providing regular updates about the purchase agreement and closing timeline preparations. "The investor has reviewed your loft and is prepared to offer full asking price for immediate purchase," Vivian said. "We just need to finalize the paperwork and schedule closing with the title company." Wayne felt confident about the cash sale and stopped showing his loft to other potential buyers, believing he had a committed investor. Days before the scheduled closing, Vivian contacted Wayne with an urgent request for a processing fee to expedite the cash transaction. The investor's funding company requires a $2,000 processing fee to release the cash for closing, Vivian explained. This ensures the transaction proceeds smoothly without delays. Wayne provided the processing fee, trusting Vivian's explanation about cash transaction requirements and eager to complete the sale quickly. Hours later, Wayne discovered that Vivian's phone numbers were disconnected and the supposed title company had no record of any pending transaction. Investigation revealed that there was no cash investor, and Vivian had been planning to collect the processing fee before disappearing completely. Wayne lost his $2,000 and had to restart the selling process while continuing to pay maintenance costs for his downtown loft. Vivian had disappeared, likely targeting other urban property owners with similar fake cash buyer opportunities promising quick and simple transactions. Wilhelmina was house hunting when real estate agent Zoe showed her a charming craftsman home that seemed perfect for her retirement downsizing plans. "This property just came on the market this morning," Zoe told her enthusiastically. "The sellers are moving to a retirement community and are motivated to sell their family home quickly." The house featured period details, manageable size, and a beautiful garden perfect for someone transitioning from a larger home to retirement living. Zoe explained that craftsman homes in this neighborhood were highly sought after and typically received multiple offers within days of listing. "Properties with this much character and charm don't stay on the market long," Zoe advised her. "If you're interested, I recommend making an offer today to compete with other buyers." Wilhelmina felt excited about the charming home and trusted Zoe's expertise about local real estate market conditions and buyer competition. She made a competitive offer and provided an $8,000 earnest money deposit to strengthen her position against other potential buyers. Zoe assured her that the offer would be presented to the sellers immediately and that acceptance was likely given the home's appeal and market demand. Days passed with no response from the sellers, despite Zoe's promises that they were reviewing Wilhelmina's offer favorably and considering acceptance. When Wilhelmina researched the property address, she discovered that the craftsman home had been sold 4 months earlier to different buyers. Investigation revealed that Zoe had been showing a house that was no longer for sale, using old listing photos and fake documentation to create buyer interest. The current homeowners had never heard of Zoe and were already enjoying their recently purchased retirement home with no plans to move. Wilhelmina lost her $8,000 earnest money deposit and several weeks of house hunting time, while Zoe disappeared with multiple victims' deposits. Zoe had been running the same scam with several properties in desirable neighborhoods, collecting deposits from unsuspecting buyers for homes that had already been sold to other families. Thank you for joining me tonight on Drowsy Tales Daily. And may these stories guide you into peaceful sleep with renewed awareness of the importance of real estate accountability and protecting homebuyers from real estate professionals that would exploit their trust during vulnerable housing transitions. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you tomorrow night for another collection of fascinating Reddit stories designed to help you drift off to sleep.